Hello and welcome to this week's Paranormal News. One thing I'd like to discuss, and this has confused me for a while, paranormal stuff, right? Look on the internet everywhere. I will guarantee you that 99 point something percent of paranormal places on the internet, and probably everywhere else, has got this kind of weird thing going on. They've got writing of blood, they've got mists, and things go, woo. What is that all about? Where did that come from? Paranormal stuff doesn't generally go woo or blood writing or things. It just doesn't. I was going to do like a pendulum experiment for you tonight. So here's the first bit of pendulum action. As you can tell, it's very cool indeed. So Marmite the paranormal paste. Marmite is so cool. In fact, it's not cool at all. It's kind of black and gooey and get a crumpet and you sort of do it crispy in the toaster. Put some butter on it, so it's all like buttery, and kind of leap it, Marmite on it, and let it seep through the bits of things. And peanut butter on the top, and munchy, all good. Peanut butter, but that's the Marmite tip for this week. Ghosts is what we're here to talk about. And we're going to talk about ghosts of the ages. I'm going to put some question marks on the end of those things. And the reason I'm going to do that is because ghosts of the ages. Okay, so think back. You may not, and in fact, don't think back because it's not a memory thing at all. But just think about ghosts of the ages. Ghosts of the ages. Right. Old ghosts, old mystical ghosts, back in time, way before the Victorians. What did they have? What did they see? It was generally spectres of the night. It was black dogs. It was like monsters and monsters, and it was like mythical animals and beasts and spirits of the wind and the rain gods and all that stuff, which is all cool. Which is there's no evidence because no one took any photographs in those days because they didn't have cameras. No one took any video evidence of that sort of stuff. So basically, regardless of what they say, we'll just go it's all rubbish because there's no hard facts. So sorry, ancient people, that's just the way it is. So, ghosts of the Victorian age. Victorian ghosts. What amazes me about Victorian ghosts is, yes, they could take photographs. Spirits would come out of mediums' noses and stuff, which was slightly strange, because since we've stopped doing the muslin cloth thing, that ghosts no longer come out of people's noses, which is quite a relief, really. So then we moved on to the 70s, and the 70s, we're no longer doing the muslin things because cameras had got better by then, because we were just working out that it was a muslin cloth. Why has that woman got a muslin cloth come out of her nose? In the 70s, what was really big was poltergeists. They're still around now, but not so big as they were. It all came about from the newspaper articles and the kind of video footage of that house that was somewhere in London with the two teenage girls and that sort of stuff. Yeah, well, anyway, the modern age ghost today is the orb, unfortunately. The orb, that kind of bit of dust between here and here, or the whatever it could be. There's a million things it could be. The circles of confusion, if you want to go onto CMOS sensors and cameras, and talk about infrared and the reflection of infrared on things, looks like that, or in fact, just stuff. Ghosts? I don't know. I can't tell you either way. I'm not even going to try. But all I say to you is that just remember, my bookmark is saying Ghost of the Age is the orb. So, Frank's box. Well, the inventor of Frank's box, in my opinion, has come up with an absolute gem. He's come up with an invention which cannot fail when you think about it. Because, basically, he's invented a broken radio that won't tune in, which is kind of the point. So this radio will scan through frequencies currently. Frank's box may not do that, but the Frank's box that you can buy on eBay does do that. Scans through frequencies. And the user will sit there with his radio scanning through up and down the channels, and they'll go, is anyone here with us tonight? And they go, and when it hits like a station, they go, yes, and they go, yes, okay, well that was a yes, that's a definite yes, there's someone here with us tonight. Okay, so they carry on asking questions. So, okay, can you tell me your name? He goes, John. Oh, John, must be called John. And they write it all down. Now that's what on earth is that all about? I'm sorry, it's scanning through frequencies of people talking, right? And if it was scanning through things where there was no person talking at that particular time, it doesn't mean to say there's no ghost there, it just means to say no one's spoken to them. Well, they've not heard it. I don't get the Frank's box thing. I'm sorry, guys, just don't buy it. What I'd like to talk about is the real ghost things, the ones that are worrying. The shadow that stands in the corner of the room when you're asleep. So you're asleep and the lights are off, and you wake up because there's a shadow in the corner of the room in the dark. It is also one of the massively reported things, so it is a possible thing. The shadow in the corner of the room is one of the ones to watch out for. Faces at windows. Who are you to say that when you're sleeping upstairs there's a face looking through your window? The feeling of dread and absolute misery is a common phenomenon with ghost stuff, which is all not super cool or groovy. In fact, it's really bad. Footsteps. Laying in bed, just about to go to sleep, footsteps. Footsteps in your corridors, footsteps in the house, someone walking about downstairs, someone walking up the stairs, someone walking along the corridor, someone walking about at the bottom of your bed. Those are massively common phenomena. Salt. Salt and burn the bones is the things that the old Winchester boys are always telling us. So with that in mind, I looked into salt and the properties of salt and all this sort of stuff. And how can salt protect us from the things that are bad? Well, basically what they're saying is that salt, you can lay at the boundaries of the things you want to protect, which is generally your home or whatever. So, I decided to do, if there's some very key points and tips I'd like to give you tonight. And that is, don't be frightened to use salt. Take some salt with you if you want to do something. In fact, don't be frightened to use salt. It's really good at protecting stuff. And salt, because it keeps demons away, it keeps ghosts at bay and all that sort of stuff. Which leads me on to the garden slightly. Slugs and their kind of sluggish little eyes and stuff that do this sort of thing. Put some salt on them. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. So slugs, demon slugs, salt on there, bad. So slugs are all demons. Snails, they're demons too because they don't like it. Which brings me on to the magic round. And Brian the snail, demonic? Possibly. There was a lot going on in that programme we don't understand. There was like the guy that smoked pot under the thing, played the guitar. There was a Zebedee thing that kind of bounced around. Everyone says it's sung about drugs. There was a cow that had a thing in its mouth and stuff, and some weird person that kind of walked around talking German, and there was a weird person that walked around, which was all very strange. So, who am I to say there was no demons in that program? There should have been. It would have been fitted better if there was. Anyway, so that's kind of my things, bits and stuff for this week. I'd leave you with that until I catch you next Wednesday. Until that time, stuff on the comments board. 5 stars, please. Subscribe. All good.